Hello, I'm Tara Brabazon. I'm the Dean of Graduate Research at Flinders University, and welcome to Vlog 148, Internationalizing the PhD. And this request comes from Jane. Hello, Jane. Jane wanted a particular vlog on the co-to-tell and international partnerships. Well, I have an expert in both of these fields who is joining me today. This woman, dear friend of mine, fantastic colleague, and an incredibly professional and extraordinary woman. I say most days I've done many interesting things in my career. Probably the best thing I've ever done is hire Megan. Megan is in the Office of Graduate Research. How incredibly lucky are we? And her title, and I will get this correct, is Partner Engagement and Pathways Officer. Now, each of those words are incredibly important. You know, we talk a lot in universities about collaboration and industry engagement, and a lot of that is a cliche. But Megan's work on a day-to-day basis is building those partnerships, creating new ways into a PhD and indeed new ways out of it. She has improved this thesis, improved this candidature at Flinders University beyond belief. She is absolutely remarkable, and we are lucky to have you.
It's an amazing introduction.
Well, it's also incredibly true. And as I said, I think of all the great things that have happened in my life, and hiring you was just like, I thank multiple higher powers on a daily basis. You are that extraordinary, and you're changing what we do and transforming how we think about internationalisation and engagement. So we're going to use your expertise today. And look, Megan, in some ways we're going to start with that first question about you. That you came to the Office of Graduate Research, you came to the interview, and after you did the interview and left the room, I did an expressive dance. I was so incredibly excited that you'd actually applied for the job. And obviously you have incredible expertise in education in multiple layers, levels and modes, but also in industry. So what made you decide to work with PhD students at this point of your career?
So it's a bit of a journey. Sneak that word in.
Yes.
So I mean, most of my work experience has been with the state government departments, and a lot of that was in HR and training and development work. Luckily enough, I was assigned to do some graduate programs during that time with a few different departments. So I got some experience working with graduates and understanding the kinds of skills and experience that graduates need when they come to work in the state government, which is, really interesting. And a great experience in terms of the graduates themselves were always quite amazing people and very enthusiastic and lovely to work with.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, that introduction to their working life was often, and then I guess a professional working life as well, because they might have had jobs beforehand, but this was their real introduction to their profession. So sort of setting them up really to be able to have the career that they wanted and understanding what that looked like for them. So that was really great.
See, remarkable, and so many of our students that work very closely with Megan are incredibly loyal to her, because as you're picking up, there is incredible expertise there and an incredible duty of care. And again, duty of care tends to be a cliche once more, but you take that responsibility very seriously pre, during and post their candidature. So therefore, let's go international for a moment, which is a big part of the work that you do.
Yes.
So what are the benefits of Flinders University PhD students thinking internationally, thinking beyond Adelaide, beyond South Australia, beyond Australia?
So there's a huge number of benefits. And I mean, co-to-tells are probably my main focus, but obviously there are things like research visits and doing study tours and going overseas for conferences as well, which are usually a bit more shorter term but have some similar benefits as well. But I think co-to-tells in particular really have impact for people's research programs. And access to expertise and resources that they wouldn't otherwise have, which then benefits their research program. So we have a student at the moment in science and engineering who's overseas in the Netherlands, who's using a particular piece of equipment to do his research that he wouldn't otherwise have access to here at Flinders. And he's actually been twice. He's split his co-to-tell research.
Wow.
So he's done some I guess, exploratory work, sort of testing to make sure the equipment would work, and now he's gone back to actually finalise that piece
Wow.
of research. Yeah.
And it is that great old cliche, you don't know what you don't know. And internationalisation, I think, makes us know a lot more and also know what we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess in his case in particular, I think that testing phase would have been really informative for his research, and he wouldn't have known whether it was going to work or not before he went. So,
and isn't that the nature of research?
Yeah.
If you know what you're going to discover, the research isn't worth doing. Fantastic. Now, you've already mentioned the C word,
coattails.
Now, what is that? For a lot of people watching this vlog, obviously in Flinders University, but also beyond, they'd be saying, I've never heard of that word before. So what is a coattail?
Yeah, sure. So a coattail is a joint degree. Coattail is the French word. I think it means joint guardianship, which probably relates to the fact that you have 2 supervisors as a minimum, one from each institution.
Right.
Yeah, but it is truly a joint collaborative arrangement. The idea is that you end up with a degree from both institutions. So you'll have a parchment from both institutions which identify that you've completed this degree jointly, and you share your candidature. You divide the time between your home university and the host university, which is usually the international university. And you have the joint supervisors. Both of them have input into your research program. The examination processes are often combined as well. So it's truly, a joint.
It's truly collaborative. So you get 2 testimonials at the end, which is fantastic, but you get that incredible international experience through supervision and all the way through. So it is embedded and deep and real. It's not lip service at all.
Absolutely. And I think, other students have talked about having those supervisors, and I guess it's not just the supervisors. You're going overseas, you might be working in a lab with a whole group of other students who are probably international as well. So you're getting all that sort of experience and developing networks, which is, really important.
Which is everything. Which is actually everything. So coattails, important. Now, I think you and I are the only people that are aware that coattails are important. The numbers of coattails at Flinders University have exploded in the last year. We've been going into meetings, and all the data sets from all the different components of research impact and engagement have been presented. And then there is the coattail graph, which looks something like this. And then 2018, boom. So it's grown exponentially. Now why?
So hopefully, I think people are starting to be more aware. There's been a lot of discussions about coattails lately. We had last year a panel discussion with 2 of our coattail students that presented on that, which I think was really informative about what the benefits of coattails are and how, they can be really, groundbreaking in a lot of ways to research. So I think awareness is increasing. I think supervisors are becoming more aware as well, particularly the benefits around them. And I guess what we see is kind of 2 different ways that coattails are developing. So there's sort of the student supervisor. They have a relationship with another international supervisor or a colleague, and they'll formulate an arrangement at that sort of level, which is, I guess, more of an individual. And we're also seeing more arrangements that are sort of programs as well.
Programmatic research,
where there's a broader research program that 2 institutions are collaborating on, and there might be multiple students that are coming into a coattail arrangement through that. So a good example is the orthopaedic surgery one we have with the University of Amsterdam, which has 9 students in it at the moment. So, and there are more of those that are happening.
And going forward, that's a long-term partnership and relationship. So that's fantastic. Right. Really, really important, really powerful. So as you've said, there may be an expert in a particular area of philosophy or a particular area of engineering somewhere, and that partnership and relationship is built. And that's incredibly useful for academics, for colleagues as well, because publications are collaborative international publications have a higher citation rate. So there's lots of benefits for everybody, I think. So we know what staff may gain from it, but what do students and indeed the university itself gain from these international partnerships, Megan?
So I guess for students, there's a couple of other things that I wanted to highlight besides the impact for your research, which is pretty mind-boggling. Yeah, exactly. And as we said, you develop a lot of contacts and networks. And I think, as careers become more international, whether you're going into academia or whether you're looking at an industry as a career opportunity, you're developing skills like being adaptable, being flexible, managing change, working independently, communication skills that are going to be invaluable to your future career. Yeah. So I think that is a fantastic opportunity or a fantastic benefit that comes out of Coach Tells. And also just the experiences that people have. We have a student in Finland who has been on some amazing cultural experiences, like
should we say
saunas.
Who it is? Should we say who it is?
Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
Hi,
in Turku. We miss you.
We do. He'll be back soon.
He'll be back soon. Good on you, Ryan. But fantastic.
Yeah, and the Netherlands, they have some really lovely Christmas traditions, and they have some fantastic winter sports events. They've got ice and snow and things that we don't have. So I think the cultural experience as well
is remarkable. And if I can just add the workplace component of it too, all jobs are now international jobs, wherever you may be. So there's no job really in local mode anymore. So that experience you're gaining, that sort of cultural shock, if you will, arriving in a new place, having to manage transportation, housing, food, new friendships, new relationships, new money, incredibly important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course it also prioritises Flinders University too, and those partnerships with us as an institution too.
Yes.
It
so
says,
building our international reputation, which, only benefits everyone, students, academics, professionals, everyone.
And the university, phenomenal.
And the university, yeah.
Now, this is the nature of most hours of most days of Megan's life. Megan, what are the challenges involved in negotiating these agreements between universities?
Yeah, okay, so there are some challenges and it can take some time. Generally, if we've already got an arrangement that's established or a partnership that's established, it's easier because we've already worked through some of the issues. But if you think about the whole process of your candidature and being admitted and the progress reviews and having your supervisor involved and having co-supervisors, developing your research program, that all becomes joint. Yeah. So, and we obviously need to ensure that we're still producing quality work and, research of, high standards as well, and ensuring academic integrity. So there's things that we can be flexible about and there's things that we can't be flexible about.
Yeah.
So we need to work through all of those with the other institution and make sure everyone's requirements are being met.
Yeah, and so what Megan does in so many ways is risk mitigation and risk management. And the reason she does this so well, I think, is because we want to make sure if a student is in another country that they are protected and cared for, and occupational health and safety, and they're cared for, and the supervisory charter is very clearly specified, and particularly the examination, the exams, so you know what the end point will be, so there are no surprises at the end. And it really is nailing it down. They're very, very overt, these co-tutel agreements, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and students will always have a copy of their agreement so they can see what is included, involved. And also recently we've been working with a student and their two supervisors on the examination process so that the student has then got a full understanding of what's going to happen and the time frames that are, because usually with other institutions there'll be the oral defence, which will have a lot of sort of time frames. They need to get the committee together 3 months beforehand, and then they need to put the oral defence in place and invite people. So yes, there's a lot of sort of organising, and you just need to get your head around how that will work.
And something I'm terribly proud of is actually Flinders University has held an oral exam. Our students don't have oral exams, except the co-tutel students, where part of the agreement is that the oral exam is part of it. So I'm very proud, and this woman handled this process brilliantly, can I say, that our first oral exam has been held at Flinders University, a remarkable international event that was very clear for the student, the supervisors and the examiners because of the detail in that agreement.
Yes, that's right. And working out a couple of months, but we started negotiating that a couple of months beforehand, and then sort of touch base with a month out and then a couple of weeks out. So it's, you know, a lot of communication.
And it was very exciting.
It was.
Very exciting, and really stretched what we do in the Office of Graduate Research, and it was brilliant because of your incredible work, I would say.
And Natalie.
Well, and we should say Natalie Hills is also involved with Megan, and that's how important this is. So the exams, of course, are everything. You can have a lovely time and, I'm really interested in the food in Turku, but actually you're doing a PhD and it's about the exams. So the whole team gets together. So Natalie Hills with Megan, and they have you're almost meeting weekly at the moment.
Yeah, we do touch base quite regularly.
To actually say, right, are we clear on what this examination between these two institutions will look like? So for students, you are completely protected and looked after, and risk mitigation and risk management is in place. So final question, there may be people out there who are about to enrol or start, because of course we're entering the period of admissions and starting PhDs at Flinders University, and there may be people out there who are thinking of coming to Flinders as well, or having some sort of partnership. So what would you recommend that people who are considering a co-to-tell do to get all their ducks in a row?
So definitely read our website with the Coach Tell information, because it outlines a lot of the key requirements and eligibility criteria. And there are a few because of the nature of Coach Tells and that joint degreeness.
Degreeness. Oh, I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have a chat with your supervisor as well, because they're usually a good place to start in terms of the different contacts that they have, the networks that they have. And even if it's not someone that they know, they might know someone who knows someone, that kind of thing. And I guess on our website we have a list of those institutions that we do have arrangements with. So they're also a good place to start thinking. I guess the other things to think about are your research program. How will this inform your research program? Do you think you might need to split your research travel to the other institutions?
So two trips rather than one big one?
Yeah. So the minimum required for Coach Tells at the host institution is 12 months.
1 year,
Yeah, and you can spend longer, but it's not required.
Yes.
But yeah, you can split that as well. So just thinking about, well, do I need to do a component of the research, as we spoke earlier, first, and then do I need to go back and I guess continue that or dig deeper, or
And of course the co-to-tell occurs through all disciplines too, so from the high humanities, philosophy, right the way through to the lab-based sciences. And of course the co-to-tells are used in different ways, so it might be getting a fantastic piece of equipment that doesn't exist in Australia, and of course in our sciences off they go to that equipment. It could be an archive. It could be a specialist archive, so historians would go in their co-to-tell quite early for their archival work. But philosophers, you're going to actually work with other philosophers, so it isn't even about the library, it's about the people that are there and the supervision. So there's all sorts of strategies, aren't there? Field work for our social workers and also our social scientists as well.
And sometimes nursing and health sciences.
So the clinical environments as well, so it happens in all disciplines in different ways.
Absolutely. So and I think there's the flexibility there to manage that as well.
Because we've got this amazing woman. Megan Darling, thank you for everything that you do every day. You are a privilege to work with and work for.
It's been great working here.
Oh, we adore you, and the work that you've done, you've been so student focused, and again that's another cliche, but you know, Megan really is and cares for the student and listens to the student and what the student would like to do, and is also respectful of colleagues. So internationalisation is a big area. We've just picked the co-to-tells up for everyone watching this. If there's other areas of internationalisation and platforms you would like us to discuss and talk about, please email us and we will deliver those vlogs for you through 2019. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yay! And we wish you love, light and peace. Megan and Tara, out.
Yay!
You were brilliant.